One of your biggest deals, I thought that was a long shot.
That was a great one, and this is where the first time the persistence paid off. So I got this lead 2022. I called these sellers, they showed me a little interest, and then boom, nothing from them for 6 months. Called them again, little interest, nothing for 6 months, and then finally I got the call, Frank, I want to sell.
Having a beer with Fred is really about getting to people's passion and what makes them tick. Having a beer and having honest, frank, clear conversation that inspires our audience is what it's about. So, Frankie, this podcast is about entrepreneurship, and we call it Having a Beer with Fred. And,
Absolutely.
Cheers. I've talked in the past on some of my podcasts about mentoring people, and you were mentioned a few times. And let's take a minute to say your full name and spell it real quick.
Yep. So my name is Frank Curran, F-R-A-N-K-C-U-R-R-A-N.
And Frankie, I always tell the story about being out with your dad, at least 30, I don't know, maybe 30 years ago. Maybe it had to be longer, right? And he asked me to go to this bar, the Foundry, because his sister had some girls that were going to be coming with him from the hair salon, and he had his eye on one of them, and his sister wanted to make an introduction. So, I was his wingman, but I didn't have to be his wingman for long.
Yeah, don't get into detail.
But anyways, fast forward, I saw your football career. You went to Shevers High School, my alma mater, and then you went on to play college football up at Husson, and you're an All-American right up there, and
Yep.
And you were getting out of school a few years ago, and we were at a couple different events, and I mentioned to you that I thought real estate would be a good move. I always feel, worst case scenario, you learn something about business, and you learn something about buying property and all of that. So you embraced that. How long have you been a real estate broker with Harborview Properties in Portland, Maine?
3.5 years, coming on to the 4th year.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So Harborview is, how many brokers do we have at Harborview?
We have about 15.
Yeah. So it's, I've been a real estate broker since I was 18 or 19 years old. And that's the same entity that we created way back, that's evolved. And, we have a number of great brokers there, and you've dove right in. What's amazing is you've made a good amount of money each year just by hustling. And in the meantime, I asked you to get involved with our properties, the Sea Dogs and Shipyard, and now you're the general manager at the Shipyard Tasting Room at 27 Hancock Street in Portland, Maine.
Yep.
What I wanted to do was talk a little bit about real estate and how you're looking at your career there. And also, like, what do you have listed now? And then also, how you feel about your growth curve on becoming a GM. So, what was the first deal you did at Harborview Properties? You remember?
So the first deal I ever did was the lot in Arundel off Route 111 in Arundel, Maine. It was it's a 23-acre parcel, and it's funny because we were coming back from Federal Jacks, and I was with you, and I just got licensed, and I was finding ways to search for new business. Obviously, becoming a real estate broker, the first couple of weeks, you're lost. You don't even know where to start. You just went through this whole process of the class, taking the test, and then now I finally got my license.
Yeah.
We were driving back from Federal Jacks, and you gave somebody a call who you knew who had a big piece of land, and he was interested in selling parts of it. So we stopped in, looked at the lot, and I'll never forget it. It was a big wooded lot, and I eventually listed that. It was a 4.5-acre parcel of land. We sold that to a paving company, and has time's gone on, and now we have 3 10,000 square foot industrial buildings, and we just leased out a full 10,000 square foot industrial building to the Maine Muscles, which is a lacrosse program, indoor turf facility.
Yeah, so I just recently talked to Ben. So that's Ben Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
My nephew is actually, we talked about me mentoring him and him buying that land. It was, we talk about on this, I often say there are really 3 or 4 things in entrepreneurship. It's really the location,
Yep.
the timing, the people, and persistence, right? So,
Yep.
yeah, and one thing you've really done has been persistent.
Yep.
And every, during a time when interest rates went up and other things, yeah, you've been really pursuing a number of deals and making them happen. One of your biggest deals up in Bar Harbor, I thought that was a long shot. You listed a deal up there. Take us through that real quick.
Yeah, no, that was a great one. And this is where the persistence actually, one of the first time the persistence paid off. So I got this lead, it was probably 2022. And I called these sellers. They showed me a little interest, and then boom, nothing from them for 6 months. Called them again, little interest, nothing for 6 months. And then finally, I got the call, Frank, I want to sell. So we went up there, and it was a beautiful property right on Bar Harbor, Maine. It was actually, it's a bike shop, and then it had 2 investment properties behind it. And that was one of my funnest deals too, because it was very complex, but at the same time, it was very smooth, and all the parties were happy. So we actually ended up selling all of the real estate to the College of the Atlantic. They were going to utilize that as housing. And we sold the business itself to a third-party purchaser who was looking for a new venture to get into this industry. So it was kind of a 2-for-1, and everybody was happy.
Right, that's awesome. What do you have listed right now that's kind of exciting?
I'll have a big one that I'm really excited about. It's actually a 4-property portfolio on Sebago Lake. It's a 4-bed, 2-bath property with over 125 feet of water frontage. Then directly behind that is a 3-bed, 2-bath. And then directly behind that, there's a garage with a water connection on site, electricity on site, and a potential in-law. And then behind that is just a level lot.
And that's Big Sebago, right?
That's Big Sebago, correct.
Yeah, which is a beautiful lake. What part of the lake is it on?
So it's right on Ward's Cove Road. So southwest, it's in Standish, Maine.
Yeah, great. So that's exciting. So let's switch over to the tasting room, Shipyard Tasting Room.
Yep.
It's been there for over 30 years, and now you're working with the team there. You got a great team with Sarah and Annika and Ryan and others coming on board. And what do you got coming up for events at the over the next, let's say 30 days? And
absolutely. So we have our big event that we're really excited about is it's actually called Shipwrecked. It's a under the sea themed rave, and we have that May 31st. It's going to be 7 to 1 o'clock a.m. So we're expecting a big crowd, and we're ready to have some fun.
So we've had 2 of them so far, right? They've all been a lot of fun. We did the Halloween rave was that on Halloween night itself? Yeah.
Yep. It was our Pumpkinhead rave, and then we had our Valentine's rave. And this is one of the first ones where we're actually, knock on wood, have some warm weather. So hopefully we'll get a great turnout and everybody will enjoy themselves.
Right. Have you, and then like over the next 2 weeks, what kind of events do you have going on?
For example, today we have a 40-person brew bus, which is a bunch of tourists, and there's some locals there too, but they get to come here, pick their flights of beer so they can experience, some beers that aren't exclusively on every shore or store shelf. Some are exclusively here at the Shipyard Tasting Room. They get some pretzel bites, and they get a tour of our facility, which is great. We also have a Harborview Properties meeting here today. And also this month is one I'm actually really excited about. We're having a Veterans Inc. fundraiser mixer. So Veterans Inc., they support active veterans that come back from service and are looking for some housing. So we're going to have a big event here and try to create some funding to help that cause and have a good time while we do it.
When is that one? What day is that?
That one is May 18th.
May 18th. And what time of day is that?
I believe that one's 4 to 6. I'm going to have to confirm it with you though.
Yeah. And how does somebody go online and see your events?
So we're actually in the process of doing that right now, but with all of our large events, we have we use a software Eventbrite, which is advertised on our social media and on our website. And also, if you have the app Eventbrite, you get email campaign notifications as well.
Yeah.
And anybody can, if anybody out there looking to inquire about a event, we do have a inquiry tab on our Shipyard website, or you could contact me directly.
So how does the Shipyard website go?
So you can go straight to the Shipyard Tasting Room. We have our own site, and then down at the bottom, you'll see event inquiries. You can click it, and then it gives you a list of what type of event you want, how many people, just a little description, and we get notified, and then we immediately follow up.
So what is it? Shipyardtastingroom.com, or
if you just type in Shipyard, it brings you to links to different locations. So then you click on the locations tab and go to Portland, Maine, and then you're contacting us directly.
Okay. All right. Right now you have, how many separate event areas do you have?
So right now we have our brand new front bar, which just got installed last summer. We have our Hall of Fame room, aka the conference room that I'm sitting in right now. And then we have our main bar area, which is the original bar. Then we have a brewery wing that can seat about 75 people. And then we have our new back event space that can, again, seat about 65 people. So, yeah. I mean, our total occupancy in general is right around 390 people.
Great. Awesome. So right now, the whole future of the tasting room, we're just about done the major renovation. The retail store is a separate entrance.
Yep.
And Nealon's been heading that up. Robert Cochran and Liz Monahan are doing a bunch of new creative designs and working with Nealon on that for this summer. And you go to the Shopify event, the website, you can order directly retail products and all that. So I appreciate all your hard work there, Frankie.
I appreciate you, Fred, more than you know. I thank you.
We'll keep having fun. All right?
Yep, absolutely.
Cheers, my friend.
Cheers, Fred.
Okay.